Hey guys, it's Rebecca Oberstadt. Sorry, the app, the Facebook app actually quit. But anyway, so I wanted to give everybody an update. So if you see my swarm check-in or something like that, you guys don't completely freak out. But back a couple of months ago after my surgery, because I had surgery February 1st, my friend Ken came and stayed at the house with me, and I ended up waking up at like 3:30 in the morning. I wasn't feeling right, and then that morning I drove to work and like half my face was numb and my bottom lip was swollen, and I was having problems with numbness and tingling in my arms and my leg, and I don't know, just all these like strange things happened. And then since then I've been having problems with memory and concentration, and I've been having to wear my prescription glasses more, and I've just been having all these really strange things happen. Like I'll be standing up talking to a customer, and then all of a sudden I get like lightheaded and dizzy, and I pass out, or I feel like I'm going to pass out. And a few weeks ago I was at work and I didn't feel right, so I went ahead and sat down on the floor behind my jewelry counter, and the vendor across the hall from me noticed that I was there, but he thought I was like playing on my phone. He didn't even think to come check. And about an hour and 45 minutes had gone by because I knew that I had sent a text message to somebody, and come to find out, I had been passed out for that hour and 45 minutes, and I didn't know what was going on, and I was all confused, and I literally had been face down in my power cords because I had like all these funny like marks all over my face from laying literally on power cords. And if it wasn't for the customer who is a regular of mine that had found me, who knows how long I would have been like that. Who knows how long I would have been passed out. And it's just all these really strange things have been happening. So the doctor just did an EKG on me. He wants me to do fasting blood work, and I'll probably do fasting blood work tomorrow. And then he's scheduling me an MRI, and I already had an MRI scheduled and a mammogram and an ultrasound scheduled for the 16th. And so we're going to try and get it all scheduled for the same day. But he thinks I'm having mini strokes. And back years ago, I had a heart attack when I was 27, and 12 hours after my heart attack, I ended up having a stroke. So the doctor said that since you've had, one stroke, you are prone to have more. And I had no idea that that was even like a thing. I didn't know that you could, especially at my age, I could continue to just have them on a regular basis. It just didn't make any sense to me. And now that the doctor has run some tests and done some evaluations and stuff like that, he really does think that that's what I'm having, is mini strokes on a regular basis, which I don't know if anybody that's watching this, because I see that I have people watching, but nobody's talking to me and nobody's like asking questions or anything. But do you know what a stroke is? Have you ever had one? Do you know anybody that's ever had one? Do you know the signs and symptoms of them? And do you know what to do if you see somebody having a stroke, or how to test somebody for a stroke? And there's actually really 3 simple methods to test somebody to see if they're having a stroke. One is their speech pattern. They will go from a normal speech pattern to a slowed down or a slurred speech pattern. And a stroke in a man and a stroke in a woman are 2 separate things. I know the symptoms that I had, besides having a speech problem, was you can't like lift your arms. Being able to lift your limbs and stuff like that, having full mobility with your arms is a difficult thing when you've had a stroke or when you're having a stroke. And then concentration and memory, those are definitely things that I noticed that was going on. So, if you see somebody having something like that going on, it's best to find out, look online, do some research, and just Google something as simple as symptoms of a stroke in a man or symptoms of a stroke in a woman. And you can see there are vast differences between one versus the other. Like a woman would be affected on one side of her body, whereas a man is affected on another. And then, other things that are really similar to stroke symptoms are seizures, and I have those as well. And usually I don't have seizures during the day. I don't ever remember having one during the day. I've always had seizures at night or after dark, I guess you could say. But and my friend Kelly keeps texting me. She's actually worried that that's what was going on, that I was having mini strokes, because she would come by and see me and help me with work and whatnot, and she would notice that things were not right, and she would stay and hang out and try and help just because she could look at me and tell that there was something wrong. And she's not she's not a doctor, and she's not really a nurse, but she's a friend, and she knows me, and she knows me well enough to know how I act on a normal basis, and things that I do and don't do, and how literally I was a different person. And it was really scary for me because when you wake up face down on power cords and you have a customer like tapping you on the shoulder, and they're like, "Rebecca, are you okay? Are you feeling okay?" And you're like confused because you don't know where you are, and then you look around and you realize where you are, and you're like, "How long have I been down here?" And they're like, "I don't know, I just walked in and found you down here, and we were worried we were going to call 911. And to be honest, an ER is not going to do anything. They really aren't. EMTs are not trained for somebody that's just had a stroke. A heart attack, yes. A stroke, no. Seizures, no. They don't do a darn thing for you in the hospital for seizures other than give you a Valium. And I take Valium every day religiously to control my seizures, and I'm on other medications that also help control seizures. But the doctor's wondering if I'm having problems with my heart again, and that because I've had a heart attack and I have a heart murmur and I have what they call mitral valve prolapse, where I have a valve in my heart that doesn't close all the way. It's like, a door that you close, but you can still see light around the edges of the door. Well, that's what a mitral valve prolapse is. And think of the light as seeping through the door as blood, because when that valve closes and the seal isn't complete, blood leaks back into that chamber that's supposed to be empty. And when it's called regurg, when you have a chamber that's literally supposed to be empty and it starts filling up with blood, you have some serious problems. Because one doctor told me, "Your heartbeat is really irregular." I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, instead of going thump thump, you go thump squish." I'm like, "Oh great, I'm the thump squish girl." I'm like, I don't know if that's really something that I want to be known as, the thump squish girl. Hi, I'm the thump squish instead of thump thump. So my cardiologist always joked with me about that, but they had me on heart medication for years, and it really didn't do any good. And so I changed my diet, and I changed my exercise routine, and that actually had a lot to do with between the lack of eating less red meat. By cutting red meat out of my diet, that cut a lot of my heart condition problems out. And I mainly eat chicken and fish because I have a rare blood type. I'm A negative for one, but I also have what they call a rare phenotype, which is something that's attached to your blood. And it just means that I've got something special attached to my blood, and I have to have special accommodations when I get blood at the hospital. So it's kind of really retarded if you ask me, but it's almost as bad as being AB negative, because that is the rarest blood type. And they say, like, one out of every 1,000 or one out of every 100,000, I think it is, has A negative as a blood type. So it's really rare. And then you've got AB positive and AB negative. Those are the rarest blood types. So it's just, I swear, if it's not one thing, it's another. But I'm taking things in stride. I have a visit with my pain specialist next week. I'm doing fasting blood work tomorrow. I've got an MRI, mammogram, and an ultrasound scheduled on the 16th, so we'll find out how the breast cancer is progressing. And it's not like I was using them anyways, you know. You're only a girl if you think you are. So technically I'm a girl. I have most of the parts. I don't really need other things. I mean, those are just extraneous parts. You know, when I used to play pool, they used to get in the way all the time, and it's difficult trying to position your pool cube when things kept getting in the way. So lop them off. I don't need them. It's no big deal. One less thing to get cancer in, right? So with my last surgery, I got rid of my uterine cancer and the potential for cervical cancer. The only thing that I could get now is ovarian cancer, and I'm not using those anymore. So as long as I've got one, I'm okay. But I mean, because a female's body really has to have one to function normally without going into full screaming, raging menopause. But other than that, I'm pretty okay. The health problems that I have are rather scary, but I have a couple of really good friends that are my support system, and that's all I really need. The other people that were supporting me gave up on me, and so, you know, I guess people in the north think of health problems as being a weakness. And so with me having health problems, they no longer want to be my friend because I'm seen to them as weak. So I guess I don't need them as friends. I need people that are willing to be positive in my life and lift me up and give me some words of encouragement and be there when I need them. I don't need somebody that's going to be a fair weather friend that's going to say, oh, well, because you eat meat, I don't want to be friend, or because you've got health problems and you take medication, you know, you're just feeding into the pharma this and the pharma that, Monsanto this and Monsanto. Fuck all that shit. To be honest, fuck it. I'm really kind of over people that say that if I take medication that there's something wrong with me. Well, you know, screw you. I had cancer when I was 15. I had a heart attack at 27. I had a stroke at 27. Spent 2 years in a wheelchair. And this person's like Mr. Fitness and thinks that he is like God's gift to everything. And I don't need that. I don't need any of that negativity in my life. And I stopped talking to this person because the last thing he said to me was, oh, all you ever talk about is negative things, and I don't need somebody like that in my life. Well, you know what? I don't need you in my life if you think that I'm negative. I need somebody to be there and be uplifting and positive in my life. And, you know, it's hard when you have health problems and you don't have any support. And basically, my support that lives close is away on training right now, and it's for a new job, so I understand, and they're not able to be there with me and give me a pat on the back or a hug, or, you know, just to be there to sit with me on the couch and just watch TV and just be a body and just sit there. And my other friend, she lives almost 2 hours away, so I don't expect her to, you know, drive up and just come see me during the week just because I need a hug, or I need a girlfriend just to sit there with me and hold my hand. But, you know, she texts and she calls and she does what she can. So, I'm burning fuel. I'm sitting here at the post office. I've really got to go in. I've got a bazillion packages that I've got to go get, and a couple I've got to mail. But you know what? Life goes on, and I've got a business to run. And for those of you that are on here, I see I've got 5 viewers, and nobody said anything to me, and I don't see any hi or kiss my butt or nothing down at the bottom, because I can see there's comments. There's a comment section on here, and I don't see any comments. And so a lot of you people that are viewing this are not even on my friends list, because it shows when a friend joins. So the 5 people that I've had viewing, 1 person is a friend, and everybody else is, I don't know, just some voyeur, I guess. Hi, I'm Rebecca. Nice to see you. Maybe I've taught you something. Maybe you've learned something. Hopefully, I've taught you at least one thing during this. But you know what? If you know somebody that has health problems or that has a chronic pain disorder like I do, we don't need people in our life that are naysayers. We need people in our lives that are going to be there for us, and that. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that. But you know what? I'm facing a double mastectomy, and I'm not even 40. So sometimes people with health problems don't need to be pointed at and made fun of. We need somebody to say, you're doing okay, and you look great, or, you know, wow, have you lost weight, or, you know, are you on some new diet, or you're looking really fit. And, you know, I went from 136 pounds to 104.5, and I just weighed in today at 117.8. So, you know what? From March 1st being 104.5 pounds to being what I am right now, coming up, you know, I'm almost at the end of May. I think I'm doing okay. I'm trying to get back to 136 pounds. So, or at least 135. I felt normal at 135. But try and be a positive influence in somebody's life. Hey, Chris. If you're viewing this, and that means you're off work, so that means you can call me when I get done with this if you want, find out what's going on. Anyways, the video just quit for a second. It said something about poor internet connection, but I've got to go. I've got to go get mail. Chris, if you want to call me, go ahead. But I'm going to close this. If you guys have any questions about strokes or heart attacks or anything like that, or seizures, since I've had all of them, feel free to ask. Send me a private message if you want. If you have somebody in your life that has health problems, help lift them up. Don't bring them down. Don't be a negative influence in their life. And on that note, I'm going to end this. I'm Rebecca Oberstadt. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic day. It's gorgeous outside. It says it's 86 in my car. So, pretty warm. I'm wearing a little tank top dress. But anyways, I will let you guys go. Have a fantastic day. Bye.